Kuzuzampo and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. This episode is being filmed in the very beautiful and, as the name of the place itself goes, peaceful Shiwaling Resort. This is a very special episode and I've had the honor and privilege of interviewing our guest before. Our guest on this show is Dr. Robert Thurman. Welcome to our show, La.
Thank you, Commandant Abdullah. Nice to be here.
Before we begin our show, if Doctor has anything to say to our viewers, La.
Just happy to be here in Bhutan and happy to have a chance to offer some suggestions about the wonderful opportunity that everyone who lives in Bhutan and who has grown up with the Bhutanese culture has in our current moment on this planet. So I'm happy to contribute some advice on that score.
Dr. Thurman, to begin, today very auspiciously is the first day of the Saga Dawa or Vesak month, the holiest month in the Buddhist calendar. So can Doctor share with us the significance and the symbolism of this day and this month as a whole?
Yes, it is wonderful. The Vaishakha, as they say in Sanskrit, was the month the lunar month in which Shakyamuni Buddha, about almost 2,600 years ago, he attained unexcelled perfect enlightenment under the Jangchub Shing, the Bodhi tree, which is the name of this program, very auspiciously named, in Bodh Gaya by the Naranjana River. And after having spent 6 years in terrible asceticism, and before that 29 years as a party animal, and as a married man also, and a young warrior and so on, and thoughtful person. And it is really something. He is an extraordinary person in the history of this planet. And one of my main themes today in our dialogue, I will mention even now, which is that although Buddhism can be considered rightly a world religion, very much parallel with Christianity and Islam, the other more than 1 billion religions. So although that is the case, at this time in Vaisakha, under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha's revelation, if you will, and the foundation, therefore, of the movement that he founded in history, of which Bhutan is a product in a way, the culture of Bhutan is a product, it was not really a religious revelation, what we think of in modern terms, the way we define the word religious. In other words, the Buddha did not meet God, a creator God of some sort, and he did not get authority from that creator God. Now I'm in charge of the universe, and you shall be my prophet, and you tell people that if they believe in me, in my saving power, then they will achieve their wishes of being free from suffering. Shakyamuni Buddha did not have that experience. He had the opposite experience, actually. He did meet the being known as Brahma or Tsangpa, in Dzongkha, who other people in India at that time considered the creator God. But Brahma had a very strange statement for the Buddha, which was, I'm a benevolent God, but I don't have the power to control everything. There is no one who has that power. But you, Buddha, will have the understanding of how people can save themselves from suffering. And so I appreciate it if you would share that with people. And actually, please teach me. God asked Buddha to teach him how to be free from suffering. And also he said, please tell people when they do suffer and they have horrible things happen to them, it's not my fault because I'm not omnipotent. I didn't create their suffering. And we're all in this together kind of thing, which is a real shock for religious people who are sort of very strongly religious and believe that there is some sort of deity who can save them. Then Buddha was surprised and amazed by that, and then he went and he meditated under the tree, under the Jangchub Shing.
Yes. Doctor, all of this happened in this month.
Oh, well, yeah, no, he saw the Brahma before and he saw him after, actually. All the time he was seeing that god on and off, and also Indra, other gods. But anyway, in this time, he then had this experience where, from all his investigation of the nature of life, he finally understood how it worked. And then also he was very, very happy because he realized that the reality of life is happiness. It is bliss. It is the unreality. The suffering part is the unreality. So the reality part is always stronger than the unreality. Truth is always more powerful than the lie. And so he achieved an experience of what reality was, and that was a blissful experience for him. And so that's his good news, actually. His discovery, what makes Buddha unique among not world religious founders, but among world scientists, world teachers, like Einstein, for example, someone like that. That's the company that he's in, not only Jesus or Krishna or Lao Tzu or something like that in China. He's in the company also of the great scientists of the world who are seeking the discovery of reality. And actually he's the leader of those scientists, because, according to our belief, because he discovered the nature himself. He experienced it completely. He had the full experience, and in fact his experience is quite related to the experience of the contemporary scientists, in the sense that, take Einstein, he discovered relativity as a theory, but Buddha had the discovery of relativity as an experience, a full understanding. And so then based on that, he gave his Four Noble Truths teaching, he gave his emptiness teaching, he gave his selflessness teaching, and he gave his good news that the real nature of life is happiness. That's why in this month, under the Bodhi tree, but 15 days from now is the time we celebrated, at the full moon, he experienced nirvana. He didn't have to disappear to experience nirvana. Nirvana is not a destruction of the world, actually. He was there in the middle of the world. In fact, he spread everywhere in the world with that understanding, but he understood that. But then a very important thing to say is that his first statement was that he couldn't make other people understand that. He couldn't himself, just because he understood that, that didn't force other people to understand it. He could not save us, in other words. He said, I can't save you. He didn't put himself in the role of an omnipotent being, like a god who, I'm going to save everybody. He did not do that. He said, I cannot save you, actually. And actually, but the good news, you can save yourself. And how can you save yourself? You can become a Buddha yourself. You can become enlightened. You can, which doesn't mean you have a light pop off in your head or something magical. It means that you yourself understand the world and you understand yourself. When you do that, you will experience the complete happiness that I have experienced. You will experience nirvana yourself. But you have to make that effort yourself. This was very key. And this is why I always like to say, and this is what I think is very important for Bhutan, how Bhutan can complete its not only gross national happiness, but also refined personal happiness of its individual citizens. It can complete this by adding the scientific dimension of Buddhism, which is foundational in Buddhism, to the religious dimension of Buddhism. Bhutan has still alive, fortunately, the religious dimension. It has the monk body, it has the temples, it has the statues, it has the history of Buddha and so forth. But its education system is not delivering to the massive population the scientific dimension. And this is what I want. This is my theme of the different programs we will make today, and this program. And this, I think, should be the theme of this year's Vesak. We should realize, oh, holy, holy, Buddha, so holy, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Yes, we do realize that, and we feel faith, and we feel respect, and we feel moved by that, and we should. But what we should realize is, under that Bodhi tree, that man, thousands of years ago, came to a perfect understanding of the nature of reality and said that it was good and it was happiness for all beings, and he in a way proclaimed gross planetary happiness for the world. And he also, in that understanding, understood that we have that capability of that understanding ourselves, and therefore he set out a system of education whereby we could come sometime or another, some life or another, to that understanding ourselves, as difficult as it might be for all of us. But the difficulty is worth the trouble because it's so rewarding. And so this is what we commemorate, This is what he founded in that day under that tree. Although it wasn't the first time it was founded, he was the fourth person to make that teaching on this planetary history. And there will be another 995 of them, fortunately, in the future. We don't have to worry.